1999-2000 season had begun to look bleak for the New York Rangers. High expectations were not being met, and the team was mired in a season-long slump. But the past few weeks have seen the beginnings of a turnaround. Hard work has led to success as the Rangers rolled off a 4-game unbeaten streak, including a dramatic come-from-behind overtime victory over the Calgary Flames. Mike Richter has been vital in these games, making key stops. His domination against Edmonton set up another Rangers overtime win. Tonight, they host the Kings. Season's greetings from ESPN2's National Hockey Night. Tonight, a National Hockey League matchup as the New York Rangers, unbeaten in their last 4 games, play host to the Los Angeles Kings. Hi, everybody. Dave Strader along with Darren Pang. Certainly the Rangers have not lived up to the high payroll and the high expectations, but showing signs in the last 4 games, especially their number 1 goaltender.
Well, when you go 3-0-1, you need your best player being your best player. And Mike Richter obviously has won a Stanley Cup right here at Madison Square Garden with plenty of pressure. In their last game a week ago, he had 4 breakaways, including that one from Todd Marchand. All-star Doug Weight came in all alone, and Mike Richter stood to the task as well on that situation. Mike Richter in the last 4 games, while this team has gone 3-0-1, has stopped an incredible 94.5% of the shots that he's faced, 98 of 104, including 32 of 33 in that last game against Edmonton.
Another guy that has picked his game up, looking more like the All-Star that he was in the Western Conference, is Theo Fleury.
Theo Fleury's starting to move his feet a lot more, too. I think he's getting used to the Eastern Conference a little bit more, and he's been rewarded with, breakaway situations. He scored on that one through Tommy Salo. Good news is he had another one. Even though he didn't score, he's getting more and more opportunities. He's also starting to shoot the puck a whole lot more as well. He had 8 shots on goal in that game against the Edmonton Oilers, had 23 shots in his last 4 games.
Bad news for the LA Kings, a 7-1 loss last night in New Jersey, but the good news is with Rob Blake and Ziggy Palffy back in the lineup, the LA Kings still have the NHL's best road record. A closer look at the LA Kings when we come back. Luke had 10 goals in the Kings' first 12 games of the season. A healthy Rob Blake is another key ingredient for Los Angeles to be a serious contender throughout this season. LA Kings take the ice at Madison Square Garden, but they have not won since March of 1990. The bad news last night, a 7-1 loss in New Jersey. The good news, Darren Pang, a couple of key players back for the LA Kings.
Well, 2 years ago, Rob Blake was the Norris Trophy winner, the best defenseman in the entire NHL. As Rob Blake goes, so go the Los Angeles Kings. He missed the last 2 games with a groin strain. Here's a guy that averages 31 minutes per game offensively. Then Rob Blake certainly looks towards the explosive Ziggy Palffy, who's also returning from an injury for the Los Angeles Kings. He did play last night, not very effective, as were most of his teammates. Ziggy missed 4 games because of a back strain, and certainly when you go back-to-back now, the situation with the injuries with both these Los Angeles Kings players should be much better in this second game.
Will a week off cool off red-hot Ranger goaltender Mike Richter? Certainly the Rangers hope that he's still red-hot as the Rangers host the Kings next. Rangers have been off for a week, and they hope they can keep things going. 3-0-1 in their last 4 games as they play host to the Los Angeles Kings tonight. Dave Strader back along with Darren Pang.
And the victories might coincide with the fact the Rangers picked up veteran defenseman Richie Pilon on waivers from the Islanders. They were paired the first game. They didn't do very well. But since that point, they're 3-1-1. And you see they had that 1 loss. But Pilon plays the left side. Hatcher plays the right side. It has really settled down Kevin Hatcher, who normally was playing with Brian Leetch. It just didn't work with those 2 guys. Johnny Muckler put them together. It worked well. He saw enough good things in the first game, even though they lost that first game, to keep them going. And they have really settled down the troops defensively for Muckler's squad.
Well, ready for the face-off, and Andy Murray, the first-year coach for the Kings, has Ian LaPerriere, Marco Tuomainen, and Craig Johnson starting, as they have done in all but 1 game this season. They look for this line to try to get it to center ice, dump it in, get a couple of hits, and set the tempo.
Breaks and the first 10 minutes of the game because he hasn't played in 7 days. Rob Blake had the first hard blast, and Mike Richter just, has to fight that thing off because that was a howitzer. Then another turnover in the neutral zone. Palffy gets it over to Robitaille. Robitaille lets her go, and that's what told me that he was trying to go glove and kind of slid it right to the body of Mike Richter. Normally, Robitaille doesn't make it that easy on a goaltender to make the save.
Pilon with the short outlet pass now for York. York from center ice. That bumps off the panel door. Bird went for the big hit. Got mostly boards on the far side as Fleury got out of the way. O'Donnell for the LA Kings. Just deflected center ice. And Murray hands it off Smolinski. Rips the shot just wide on the stick side of Richter as Murray tried to catch the goaltender moving. O'Donnell sends it in deep. Smolinski, number 21 for the Kings, centering pass, but Hatcher was right there for the Rangers and plays it off the board, center ice Fleury. He'll take the hit there, and actually the LA player, Nordstrom, went down. The two number 14s colliding there. As the puck is dumped back in behind the Ranger net. Johnson tried to move it. Turnover, though, forced by the Kings forecheck. Puck hopped over the stick of Siplikov. Blake moved in for the point, but it nudged out to center ice. Here comes Alexander Day, the fastest skater on this Ranger team in their recently completed skills competition to see who will go to the All-Star weekend in Toronto. Day is out there with Tim Taylor. Now Blake for the Kings. Pokes it loose. Chartrand for Los Angeles plays it off the boards and pushes it back inside the Ranger line.
Chartrand had a big road trip, scoring 2 goals in his native Quebec land of Montreal. And a big victory there by the Los Angeles Kings, the game before losing to New Jersey just last night.
Now Harvey across the line. Sends it in wide of Storr. Eric Lacroix, big hit there. Here's Harvey with a chance. Go!
The crowd here in New York have not settled down. It's an earlier start, but much to the light of the fans and the chagrin of the head coach Andy Murray, Todd Harvey did some excellent work taking the puck around the back of the net, first taking it through the neutral zone and putting it in deep. Very simple play. Then he continues on behind the net. He holds on, has patience because he's got big Stevens in front. The big train's right in front of the net, and the goaltender has no chance whatsoever. I was waiting to see if there might not have been an interference call, but as you see on that replay, Stevens did a great job of tiptoeing around the crease, did not nudge the goaltender. The goaltender's Storr looked like he turned towards his left, kind of got off balance a little bit before Harvey's wrist shot went through him.
Todd Harvey celebrating his 300th NHL game with just his second goal of the season, if indeed that did not hit Stevens. We're awaiting the official announcement. Then Barry down number 19. Taken off the puck and taken right to the ice by Alavich, and it looks like there's going to be a penalty here against number 27 of the Rangers.
So a power play, as you see, signaled by Bill McCreary, the veteran referee now for the Los Angeles Kings.
And 458, Harvey is second from the club and McLean.
Alavich wearing number 27. Just completely hauled him down. A little bit of a mauling right there on Len Barry. Len Barry going down the left side.
Puck on the save by Storr. Now behind that day. Good move with the stick there. That's it over the net. Score! Tim Taylor from Alexander Day.
What a pass by Diggs. I mean, that puck had eyes. And sure enough, Taylor was just able to kind of just place it. He didn't get much mustard on it, didn't get much wood on it, but Storr moving from his right to his left, didn't get the paddle down. Oh, plenty of credit to Alexander Diggs, who continues to work his rear end up for this hockey club. Bottom, oh, that just barely got through. Holtby was there, Berg was there, but somehow got over their stick and right on the tape. And the player Taylor has cycled back. He was in this near corner. He cycled back in front of the net, took it on the backhand, and then just played to the far side, going against the grain through the legs of the goaltender.
Well, Taylor getting his 6th of the year. Now the two players that hooked up in overtime a couple of games back against Calgary. Team up for the Rangers' second goal here. Now the Harvey line coming right back and putting pressure, and Harvey trying to dump it to the front of the net. It looked like it hit Kevin Stevens in the right side of his face. Stevens is going to stay with it, though. Center for Harvey. Score! Jumping. Just like last night in New Jersey, the Kings suddenly find themselves down 3-0.
Jamie Storr got no chance on this one. None whatsoever. A quick one-time play. The New York Rangers cycling down low. Winning the loose battles down low. Nothing fancy here, but just good old-fashioned work. And on the Right here is your man, and he ended up scoring the goal. The right-handed shot, Todd Harvey. Right here after Lacroix battles down low, and he plays it over to Stevens. Stevens looks up, perfect pass right on the tape. And the constant movement in the offensive zone down low for the New York Rangers results in yet another goal. And it's a 3-0 lead.
5.5 remaining in the first period. It would have been offside, but the Rangers turn it back. Second of the game, so he's scored twice as many goals tonight as he had the rest of the season. Over Daniel Starr. Stevens and Lacroix will get the assist. Done back inside of the net. Storm stops to their penalty count against Los Angeles. Rangers are moving their feet. They're working hard and causing the LA Kings to take penalties. Rangers on the power play when we come back. 0 for 1 on their one power play. Richter out of the net. Glenn Murray trying to get to that loose puck. Could not get it in front to Smolinski, and Richter hustled to get back there.
Credit Richter. That was almost an
Give away, and Richter has to make a save there on Glenn Murray as that puck bouncing all over. Smolinski with a shove knocked Nedved down, but the Rangers able to come out with it.
Boy, are they aggressive. LA Kings are aggressive in all areas. They average 17 penalty minutes per game, which is 25th worst in the NHL of the 28 teams that are there.
Puck deflects out middle of the ice. A chance here fired wide. Now Snyder backing up. Hands it off. Alexander Dave. Quick shot. He tried to look to the right and shoot back on the short side, and Storr stayed with him. McLean winds up. He drives a shot that's blocked by Kammerlaw. Now Dave with it. Sends it out. Janssen at the right point. Back for Dave at the hash marks. Takes a look. Big side of the net. In front of chance. McLean scores! Finally, a power play goal for the New York Rangers.
And what a strong setup, too. Strong setup by every one of the players on the New York Rangers squad. McLean's up here at this particular point. Now they're just setting it up. He's a right-hand shot, and he's just kind of waiting and waiting. He's looking for it. Now he's going to pull back here. It's a set play. And here's a cross-ice pass, perfect feed right on the tape. And he's got a sharp angle. Don't kid yourself. That's a sharp angle right there. McLean's the scorer. He's got a nose for the net. And he put himself in a perfect position off the feed. It all started from the high slot. He wandered back to the near side where he had the sharper one-time angle. 4-0 Rangers.
McLean scored his first goal of the season just a couple of weeks back in a game at Buffalo.
Number 26, Tim Taylor. And number 12,
Taylor and Dave assisting, but Dave with his second assist.
McLean on the power play is second for Taylor and Dave.
4-0 Ranger lead. 2:45 remaining here in the first period. Over in the neutral zone. Harvey comes right back. He has 2 of the 4 goals, but that shot deflected up high on the glass, and Robitaille now has it for Los Angeles. Gets up on the far corner, and Knuble digs it out of there. 3-on-2 for the Rangers. Nedved. Pass in front. Here comes Knuble. He scores!
What an onslaught! Well, the Kings haven't been able to respond after what happened last night. First real big test for the LA Kings after being shellacked last night 7-1 in New Jersey. Coming right back here to Madison Square Garden, and Nedved makes a nice drop pass. Malavich makes a perfect pass over to Knuble. Momentum is now on Knuble's side. All he has to do is hang on to the puck because the goaltender's going from right to left. Keep your eye on the goaltender's Storr. His movement from right now to left, and he's leaning, and it's an easy slam dunk on the backhand for the big fella, Mike Knuble.
Sixth of the year for the former University of Michigan standout Mike Knuble. Here's Nedved right back on the attack. Little foot pass toward the front of the net is knocked away. Jump back toward the net by Nedved again. And this time the Kings will get to it. LaPerriere run into by Malavich. And back the other way. LaPerriere shot. That was juggled after the save made by Richter. And here is Nedved with it. Slides it across, and we've got Quintal squaring off here with LaPerriere.
LaPerriere, the one-time New York Ranger, just trying to stir something up, and Stéphane Quintal answers the bell. And on home ice, that's exactly what you want. You want to make sure you nullify the opposition there. The opposition being Andy Murray's Los Angeles Kings squad. As you saw the graphic before, they've been just hammered their last 4 periods. Outscored.
Now there's more going on here, and you can be sure the frustration for the LA Kings. Gave up 7 goals last night, and even with that 7-1 loss and a loss earlier on this road trip in Detroit, this team still with the most road points in the league, and they figured to bounce back, Darren, as you said, the first really big test that they've had, and boy, the Rangers have taken it to them here in the first period. Again, more NHL action coming your way here on ESPN2. Peter Forsberg is back in the lineup, and the Colorado Avalanche are back on top of their division. They'll play host to Paul Kariya, Teemu Selanne, and the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. For more, log on to ESPN.com, a part of the Go Network, go.com.
Well, when things are going well, it is magnified 100%. And for the LA Kings, it's not going well right now. It looked just moments ago like they'd even scored on Mike Richter to make it a 4-1 hockey game, and that wasn't to be. And what happens? The New York Rangers come down the other end. Stop it here. Looks like this player here is tied up on the left side. He's going to be the eventual goal scorer. It's a classic 3-on-2. But the winger decides to go towards the middle of the ice, stops moving his feet. Now it's a real odd man situation, and it's Mike Knuble. That's his man. And Knuble's able to score coming down his right side, the left side of your picture. Well, for John Muckler, the head coach of the New York Rangers, wasn't it only a couple of weeks ago that he was on the firing line?
Well, you expect that with a $60 million payroll and the team not going well.
One of the things he was really worried about was the time off. He was worried about all the charities that these players had, the dinners, the Christmas time, the families coming in. 1 week off, they're looking that they're 3-0-1. They're looking like everything's going real well, and he was worried coming into this game. Well, obviously they were very, very well prepared. They have a lot of respect for the LA Kings. Every player in the league has a lot of respect for how the LA Kings play. And so now when the Kings come into buildings, you're not surprised by how good they are anymore.
Simplikov rips a shot, missed the net with it. And now York for the Rangers. Wraps it around Fleury. Will get a deflection. Teams are at full strength after the penalties all even each other out. A giveaway. Here's Fleury with a chance. He scores!
The direction Jamie Storr is looking at is the bench. I think he's looking for some help. That's the look like, get me the heck out of here. A turnover by Blake. A fine young rookie who has been such a spark here. He gets the puck on the left side. Now what he tries to do is he tries to go right up the middle. And there you have Theo Fleury's wide open right there. And Theo Fleury ripped that one on the far side. It might have gone off the defenseman that was sprawling. Might have gone off the back of the defenseman. And then past the goaltender. So now Theo Fleury's getting a little luck as well.
Made there by Passe. It comes back to Degenford. Another chance of Passe. Had to stop that one.
That was the right hand, too. That's the hand that is so severely bruised from Stéphane Passe on the blocker side. The hand that holds the stick. And that shot by Dig went right off that side.
Matthew Snyder now on the rush into the King zone. Has hooked off the puck, and it is flipped back the other way. And Nedved will go back to get it.
Nedved played just barely over 5 minutes in that opening 20 minutes of play.
Now Fleury left the puck there. Graves bangs it off the boards, trying to go around. King's able to get a couple of players over there. It's chopped at by Bird. He couldn't clear. Bird tied up there with Michael York. Fleury sends it around left point. The fade hands up there. Goes back to Fleury, top of the circle. Now Fleury sends it deep. Gets it back from York. Hatcher cruising to the front of the net. Kevin Hatcher right in front. Here's LeFave with a shot. Save, rebound, score! Another power play goal for the Rangers. Yikes!
I mean, there are a lot of things that are going well for the New York Rangers. Besides that funny carom off the right pad of the goaltender, but also the pass here by Fleury. I mean, this one here looked like it should have been intercepted, and it wasn't. And instead, the shot comes from the point, and then it goes for a wicked bounce. And York gets credit for the 7th goal of the game and his 9th goal of his rookie campaign on the power play.
9 goals for York as he came in among the point leaders for rookies in the National Hockey League. And moves ahead of the fine rookie Peter Schaefer of the Vancouver Canucks in the goal-scoring department. A chance here now for L.A. Richter is down. Puck is out in front of his crease. It is recovered by Taylor, but there's going to be a penalty here against the Rangers as an LA King, that is Marko Tuomainen, is down on the ice.
Or Smolinski gave. Yeah, I'm sorry. It is Brian Smolinski that's down there. And Richie Pilon was all over him. That's the reason why he's down there. And so with the battle in front of the net after the wraparound was stopped by Mike Richter here by Donald Audette, now 47 here. They're jockeying both for position. And really, Pilon wasn't doing that much there, but it was the vulnerable position of Smolinski that led the referee to believe that Richie Pilon was all over him. Richie Pilon came to the New York Rangers, obviously after playing for the New York Islanders, and he is so darn proud to wear the jersey, to come over here, a different feeling, a little bit of different life, I think, right now, certainly for the New York